All right, welcome everybody. Come on in, take a seat, be prepared. I want to introduce my favorite loan agent of all time, Jody Hatano with Golden One Credit Union, and she's going to answer the question, did you know that your loan agent could actually help you get business? Did you know that? So why don't you take it away? Tell them anything else you'd like to, oops.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mike. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking time out of your day for this call. I don't know if it's going to go quite an hour, but maybe, but I think it might be a little bit shorter this time. So I want to get started. Basically, this call is going to let you guys in on some info that I think is going to help you grow your business. It involves partnering with a loan officer, hopefully me, if you want to, but for all loan officers out there, it's always a good thing to partner with them. There's going to be some flyers that I show you. There's going to be some email marketing, print marketing, and web marketing, social media marketing that I go over with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you a quick market update because I know people are going to ask anyway. I do get calls from time to time, agents asking me what's going on with interest rates. So just go ahead and get that out of the way. All right, market update for April. The consumer price index came out that inflation increased about 0.3%. Obviously, we want it to decrease, right, to get under control so that rates will go back down. So with an increasing is not the best news in the world, but they're working on it, I guess. But year over year, inflation is down about 0.1%. So we need it to come down more and quickly. Jobless claims rose 22,000 to 264,000. That's the highest claim since 2021. While we don't want people to lose their job, that's what the Fed's looking for to kind of determine what's happening with inflation. The higher job claims, the better the Fed thinks that we're going to be able to avoid a recession. But there's other factors as well. But that's why I'm sharing that information with you. The continuing claims, meaning people who already are on jobless unemployment benefits, that rose 12,000 to 1.813 million, 813,000. So part of that's good is that people are continuing to be unemployed. It's not good, but for the Fed, that's what they're wanting to see to help get inflation under control. Rents rose about 0.5%, but they're up year over year about 8.8%. That's an important statistic for you guys to have in the back of your mind when you're talking with buyers about buy versus rent. And we can talk about, you can talk about the rent, average rental increase year per year versus appreciation, things like that. So keep that statistic in your mind and check it every now and then. Okay, you can get this information. It's all public. I just compile it for the call, but that is a good statistic for you guys to stay informed of. It helps with your conversation with potential clients. Mortgage applications rose about 5%. Now that's including all applications, purchase, refi, and equity. So it's not indicative of purchase applications going up 5%, but at least there's more movement, happening now. Purchases are still down about 32% from this time last year. Interest rates are up about 1.125% from this time last year. So that, obviously that is a big factor in people not going ahead and moving forward with buying a new home. And I don't think it's as much. I mean, people are still complaining about high rates, but they're always going to complain. We could be 3%, and why aren't you at 2.5? So people are always going to feel like the interest rates are high no matter what. So but I think what's really driving the decrease in people buying is more that their buying power has gone down quite a bit. When you've got a percentage point higher in interest rate, that lowers your qualification, that lowers your buying power. So if you have someone who's right there on the edge of ratios and they can't afford even a quarter change in interest rate, and that I do see that, then you can tell, okay, well, it's over a whole percentage point higher. So of course they're going to have problems, qualifying for what they want to buy, where they want to buy. They have to go out, different places of the state where it's less cost of living, but it might not work because of their job. So those people are having to wait. I don't think that it's a bad idea to keep in touch with those people though, because even when you run across somebody, let's say in an elevator at the bookstore or wherever, and they say, oh, well, I can't afford it now, you know, I could then, but not now. So I'm just going to wait. And then your instinct is to say, okay, yeah, well, you know, call me. But I think you need to maybe try to get a little bit more out of that meeting or that encounter, because these people, maybe they can't buy right now, but if interest rates drop maybe 0.5%, and they could be back in the market, and then they're going to be still out there wondering who to call. So, you know, give them your card, but get their phone number and their name and email address. You know, that if you leave it up to them, they're going to put the card down and who knows. So try to get their information and keep them in your database. For us here at Golden One, we have the lender credit. I've talked to you guys about this whole year, really. It was supposed to be canceled in the end of March, but they extended it through the end of May. I just need an application by May 31st. An application means that we have a property address and a contract. I've got there's other elements, but for what you guys need to be aware of is if I have a contract signed by May 31st, then I can give them the $3,000 lender credit, even if they close past that, obviously. The lock and shop program, we still have that going on. I think it's definitely tapered off because interest rates about early mid-March were, you know, down. And so we got a few people in with the lock and shop program. And of course, they've come up here in the last several weeks. They're not going back down for the most part, not in our market. But anyway, we still have that program. So if they dip back down, maybe, you know, we can start looking at people taking advantage of that. But for you, when you're talking with your clients, you can say, well, you know, my lender, Jody at Golden One, is able to lock your rate before you have a contract. So it'll protect also, not just the interest rate, but it'll protect the qualification, right? So if I qualify them at say 6.25 and that's it, and they're at the max ratio and I can't afford any more, then we lock them at that. We've got 60 days to close. They can extend it another 30 if they want. They have to pay for that, but that's another, like, it's a benefit for this program, not even really to protect interest rates rising, but it's also to secure qualification. So I can give you guys more details on that later. I've done it in another call, but I'm happy to go over that later if you want. ARM rates for us are in the mid 5s, and 30-year fixed is in the low 6s, you know, 6 1/8, 6 1/4-ish, depending on lots of factors: credit score, property type, loan type, area, you know, where they're buying, that kind of thing. So if you've got anybody that you're talking with and they're, you know, giving you their interest rates from other lenders, you know, have them give me a call. I'm happy to give them a rate quote. There are a lot of lenders want to pull credit before they'll give you an interest rate quote. I don't have that requirement. I can give anybody an interest rate quote based on the information they tell me. But I do tell them this is just based on what you're saying. It doesn't mean, you know, when I pull credit, you're telling me you have an 800. If I pull credit, it's a 720. It's going to be different. And people pretty much know that. But I'm always happy to quote interest rates. So when you guys come across that, try to shy away from talking to them about interest rates. I do from time to time have agents that will text me and want to know what the rate is so they can tell their client. Technically, you're not supposed to quote interest rates for a mortgage unless you're licensed. And I know maybe some real estate agents are licensed, fine, then you can do it, I guess. But if you're not licensed, please try to shy away from that. You don't want to be held liable for that, but also to try to secure, you know, the transaction. Maybe if someone's just barely asking you and they haven't really done much with you yet, no buyer brokerage agreement or anything. You know, we want to try to get as much contact information as we can. So by you saying, well, let's call Jody real quick, she can tell us where rates are. You don't have to put an application, like, I'm not ever going to pressure them or anything. And then at least we've got a little bit more going on. They already see that you've got a partner in this, and their benefit to working with you is that they get your time and attention. They get my time and attention, two different people. Just send me a text or something to let me know they're, you know, heads up for a call, and I'll do my best to be available. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about the fun stuff. Marketing, co-branded marketing. I've done co-branded marketing presentations with you guys before. Maybe some of you are new. And if you are, welcome. This is going to be some different stuff, some of the same stuff, but then some different stuff, some new things that we just got. And I wanted to let you guys know what it is right away, because I think we're in the spring season, going into the busy summer season. We need to do everything we can, pull out all the stops to get in front of potential buyers out there. I can guarantee you that there's a lot of real estate agents, if not the majority, they're just sitting back waiting to see what happens before they spend any more time, marketing themselves. And while they're doing that, I think you guys should be the ones out there as if you've got 10 transactions closing every month. Keep your energy level up, keep your attitude positive. And I think that other buyers will feel that, sellers will feel that, and they'll have more confidence, not only in their decision to move forward, but also in you, which would set you apart from another agent who might be a little bit more doom and gloom. Just a quick thing about me. I have been, for those of you that don't know, I've been in the real estate industry for 20 years. Feels like it was just yesterday, but I've been in the industry for 20 years. I've been in mortgage for about 18. So I've seen quite a bit in this, in the last couple of almost decades, from the mortgage meltdown to, the 3%, 30-year fixed jumbo rates and all sorts of things, credit crunch, credit, tightening, credit lightening, all that. I've seen it all. So if you guys have, if you're new in the industry, and it can be very intimidating, there's so much to learn, continue to learn in this industry. You never know it all. So you continue to learn, but I want you to know that you can lean on me. I can help you, guide you through some of the, intricacies of the transaction that maybe an agent 5 years into it might already know, but you don't know because you don't have the experience yet. You'll get there, but please lean on me for any support at all. I remember my first loan that I ever tried to quote. I didn't even know how to quote it. I didn't know how to use the system to even do that. I put the person on hold, and I went and got a manager to come over and tell me what to say and and what words to use. I didn't even know the difference between conforming and non-conforming. Okay. And I ended up quoting that person. I kind of faked my way through it, I guess, because he ended up blocking with me, but I know what it feels like. There's the real estate industry is saturated with real estate agents, especially, and we have to do something to set you apart. Getting in and getting started can be challenging, but again, please lean on me. I'm happy to help anytime, evenings, weekends. Come to your open houses. If you're brand new, you've got a first open house and you're nervous, I'm happy to come to it. I'll bring my laptop. We have buyers walk in. I can help with the conversation. I've done open houses many times before. I can bring some cookies and things like that too. So streamline communication, working closely with me, you can ensure yourself and your clients that the process is going to be smooth and efficient. And I'm going to maintain contact throughout the transaction daily if I need to. So I don't run and hide, even if there's things that, challenge or something that's kind of not going the way we want and we have to talk about it. I get right in there and let's get the resolution and let's keep going. I'm always available for you and your clients. I say evenings and weekends are encouraged because that's really when we're all the busiest, right? During the day is all paperwork and stuff because our clients are all working. So evenings and weekends are fine. With Golden One, we have competitive rates and programs. We've got a few things that we can do that other lenders can't. Since we're a nonprofit, our rates are typically lower and our fees are lower. For example, having the lender credit from January 1st through May, that's $3,000 for every purchase loan that Golden One is contributing towards closing costs. That's huge. So not a lot of lenders can do that or are doing that. Increase referrals. I am from time to time able to refer a buyer over to a real estate agent if they don't already have one. As you guys know, usually my business comes from you guys, some other types of people too, but a lot of our business as loan officers comes from real estate referrals. So I appreciate that very much. I do try to reciprocate if I've got a buyer that is in your area that fits your expertise and I think it's a good fit. I'm happy to do that. Enhanced marketing, that's what we're going to talk about. We've got some really cool joint marketing features that have just come out, and I think that it will help kind of catapult us into the century that we're in and embrace technology a little bit more. I have not embraced technology near as much as I probably should have. So that was one of my resolutions, so to speak, for this year, is to be more involved with social media. It's not my favorite, but be more involved with social media, and think about it that, you know, the information that you and I need to share with people is to help them. You know, it's not so much, here's a picture of my dinner, but it's to help them know that there's people out there that are easy to talk to, that are real, that are honest, that have integrity, that they can trust with their transaction. So let's get to it. All right. I actually already talked about this, but let me do mention a couple of things. Save your clients time and money, builds your reputation online, especially with what I'm going to show you. Of course, you know, you have your own online presence, but I've got some, I think, add-ons to it that I think are pretty awesome. Most of what I'm going to talk about today is free. You don't have to pay to joint market with me, which is amazing. The only thing you have to pay for, and we have to split it 50-50, is if we print materials. So if we have a, say a homebuyer seminar or something like that together, and we have things that we need to print that's got our info on it, then we need to, you know, split that cost 50-50. Got to stay RESPA compliant. I can also save you time, because one of the things, if I don't talk about it later, I'll say it now, is you can get pre-approved all day long, but in a lot of cases, we need to take a step past pre-approval and go through an approval process. If you have a buyer who maybe is self-employed or has RSU income or things like that, we can take it a step past that at the very beginning. They don't have to have a contract. There's no cost, no obligation. They can still go with somebody else if they want to, but we will fully underwrite them, credit, income, and assets. And they'll have a commitment letter from Golden One. It's a couple of days for, if you haven't identified a property yet, it can be, you know, a couple of days turnaround, but depending on how many of those we get in at any given day. But that's definitely, I think, something to set you apart from other agents, to be able to refer someone to a loan officer that can give them the answer up front, you know, not wait during the process, or, you know, the worst is when you go into contract, apply. Okay, so this is first, because this is my favorite thing that we have so far. You guys, of course, I want your input. So as I'm going through this, I'm not going to read the chat screen, but put questions in, and, you know, if you like it, don't like it, whatever. But the single property website is basically this. You'll co-brand with me, basically send me your contact information, your headshot, website, things like that. And then what I do is develop this website for your property. Now, this is going to be for listings, right? However, if you've got a buyer that is like super into a particular house, and maybe you don't like the listing the way, I don't know, maybe it's not formatted great, and you want it, you want a property that a buyer's going to buy, you're not representing the seller, I can create one of these as well. Okay, it doesn't take any time. I said I develop it, but you know, all I do is click, and, you know, that kind of thing, and it's there. So don't hesitate to call me for that. The single property website has 7 templates. I'm going to actually take you to an example of it here in a second, but just to show you the different templates. This is the home screen on this is an actual listing in San Jose. I thought it was kind of looked great for what I'm showing you. Whoever the agent is, I don't know, but it's a great house. So basically, you've got 7 templates to choose from. One is the first one there. It's pretty basic. If you look down, the one that says, that's got all the verbiage, I kind of like that one because it kind of gives them info right away, or the one next to it that gives them, it shows kind of a map of where the listing is located. If you have a property that's in a really highly desirable location, then that template might be good to highlight where it is. Okay, so you can, we can instantly publish this, and you'll see on, when I get to the website, to Facebook, Twitter, and I was about to say Instacart, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and even email the link to people. You can email it out to anybody you want to, share it with other realtors in your office, at your sales meetings. Hey, I have this listing, you know, do you have a buyer? Okay, so let's look at the actual example. Hopefully it works. Okay, so I've created this single property website for this listing, and I picked this particular template just so I can show you guys what it looks like. If that's too small, let me know. It's probably okay, but I can't see what my screen looks like, but hopefully you guys can see this. So this is what your buyer would see, or, you know, seller, sorry. Whenever, even when you go to listing appointments, you know, I can prepare this for you if you're going to a listing appointment. How great would it be for you to be presenting, you know, why it's great for them to list with you. And then you can go ahead and pull up your laptop or tablet and already show them the the website. I say that, and then I'm just realizing that it probably has to have the MLS number. I'll get back to you on that. Maybe I can change some pictures around a different listing or something. I don't know. I'll play around with it. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. I got a little excited. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so this is a property that's listed, and this is the template I chose. It's got the map, kind of to show that it's close to the highway there. So this is what people will see down here. Get in touch. So, you know, we'll have our email here down below, but this would send a message to you and me. If someone sent a question through here, usually they're gonna, you know, go down here and click email me or something like that. So, and there, it pops up an email box. Oh, no, what happened there? I'm stuck. Okay. All right. So this, oh, sorry. This particular one, I put Mike on there because his info looks pretty good. So great headshot, by the way. Headshots kind of need to be on the pro side if you want the truth, because the size has to be a certain one. So, but send me what you have, and if it's not going to work, I'll let you know. Okay, so you've got this site, and you want to post it. Maybe you've got your Facebook realtor site. So you're going to go over here and you're going to click Facebook. Log in. I can't log in because it won't let me past it, but you log in, and then it looks great. It's a post, and you can type a few things in, and it starts out with this picture of the house and then a little bit of info, and they can click it and go to the listing. Same thing with Twitter. You can tweet it out. You can put it on LinkedIn. You can put it on Pinterest if you guys have a Pinterest board, or you can email the link to someone. This might not work just because it's not technically live. It's an example. Oh, okay, it did. Perfect. So then you'll email the link over. Okay. So let me show you real quick. Stay signed in. This is, I'm just showing you what I have to do for this, okay? Because I want you to see the different templates. All right, so let's go to this one. Okay, so here's the preview. Now over here is where I get to pick the different templates. And what I would do is have you guys tell me what you want. And then there you go. It's a pretty nice one. So got that. Let's see, this contemporary one is pretty cool. You know, basic hits the high notes there. Offered at 4.2. Okay. Let me close that now. All right. Okay. So I've got some other stuff to go over, but I want to stop, if you don't mind, and just see if anyone has any questions about this. Because like I said, this is what I like the most, but let's see.
Come on, everyone. If you have a question, you could speak.
Mm-hmm. If you got a question about the single property website, if not, no big deal. We can think about it and we can talk about it.
You must have given them a lasting
later if you
satisfaction.
want. Okay.
Do you have down payment programs? Audrey asks.
Not at this time.
So
Possibly.
this is Jody. This is your website.
This is a single property website that I create. It's its own website.
Okay.
There's a link that, I mean, you wouldn't publish, probably wouldn't publish the actual website.
Mhm.
It's more for sharing on social media.
Okay.
But you can't, you know, like when when you copy and paste a link into an email, you can edit what they see versus what the address is. You could probably do that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so continuing. Do you have something, Mike?
No, just looking to see if there's any, no.
Okay, so email marketing, I'm sure that you guys already do this, you know, some, and if you don't, you should. But what I can do and what I can offer is not a ton of different emails, but I've got a few listing insights. I've got why buy now, something that basically you and I are co-branded on, and it's an email that goes out to one person or a particular group of people, whatever you've got going on. We also send out a Golden One home loans anniversary on their 1-year anniversary. It's co-branded, of course, to keep your face in front of them as well. And we send out a birthday email as well. So there's lots of different things that I can do. I can see when someone's opened the email. I can see when it's been delivered. If they opt out, I can see that as well. If they've asked any questions from it, you know, of course, we can share that information back and forth. So I think this is like a cool extra, something different than maybe what you do. If you do a newsletter once a month, everybody does newsletters, you know, so maybe do the newsletter, but add another thing of value, right? Give them something else. Why buy now? You know, that might be a little bit different than what's going on in, you know, a newsletter in your neck of the woods. I'm not saying newsletters are bad, but, you know, they're just pretty common. So we got to do stuff that's a little bit different. Print marketing. This is what we can do that, but we got to split it 50-50. My thought was, you know, for example, the $3,000 flyer for the lender credit, you know, that'd be something great to stick over at a coffee shop, bookstore, co-op grocery stores usually have boards that you can post to, parks, mail to your database, pass out at an open house. That would be a really great place to pass out a flyer. Give them to the title companies. You know, title companies maybe from time to time can refer business over to you, but it also keeps your name in front of them. So this is just an example of one. I've got several. I've got not just this screenshot. I've got more, but this is what I can fit on here. I've got a pre-qual checklist. So for example, we're at an open house. You know, why don't we go ahead and have a little packet prepared with a few flyers, right? And we've got the pre-qual checklist on there so that they leave with more information than they probably had when they got there. Okay, this is what I have to get, you know, together to try to qualify to buy a house. FHA low down payment, conventional. We probably wouldn't send out too many cash out refis, but maybe cash out refi to buy another house. Then you've got a buyer, you know, so there's all different ways you can kind of spin things. But this print marketing is pretty cool. This is different than what I had before. Now this is the kind of stuff that I've talked to you guys about, but I want to bring it up again because it's still really great stuff. And I think that if you could develop some type of packet that you give every client that's the same, that has the same type of information in it, of course, edit this from time to time. That I think would be a great idea. They're leaving with more than they got there with, which is always great, right? You got to give them a thing of value. And especially in this type of transaction, knowledge is the most important. This particular cost of waiting sheet talks about the effect of increased interest rates. Now, I don't want to scare anybody and say we're at 6.375 today, but if you wait and it's 8%, you know, I don't want to do that, but you know, I can do it maybe in increments of a quarter or something like that, so they can see different adjustments. So this is a great tool. I love it. Cost of waiting. All you need, and your info would be up here to the right. Mine would be to the left, or you can flip it, whatever you like. But this is a great tool. There's different types of ways we can present it, either, you know, in a graph or like this, or just one of these pages. There's options. The real estate report card, you take a listing. This is a wonderful thing to have printed material for them to, for potential buyers that come in and take a look to leave with. It also, you know, maybe they're not buying, maybe they are a nosy neighbor. That does happen and you can't stop it, right? You can't screen everybody that comes in. But you want them in there anyway, because they might tell somebody. They might take this real estate report card Go sit down at home, take a look at it and think, wow, maybe we should sell now. Oh, let's give Dan a call. You know, we just saw him at the open house and this is great info. Let's give him a call. Maybe he knows more than we do. And then maybe you get a listing from it. Here's the appreciation data. We can do it from 1 to 10 years. But I think 10 years is pretty long. The average person's, you know, in and out of their house between 3 and 5 years, but you know, maybe if you want it 10 years, fine, we can do 10 years. But this does compares loans to cost of waiting, appreciation, things like that. Buy versus rent, another amazing tool to have. This can be posted at a coffee shop right beside your $3,000 lender credit flyer you have with me. This can be posted there. Wow. Okay. So somebody's sitting there drinking their coffee and they're reading this like, wow, this is I can make $231,000, sorry, by buying a house now. That's so much better than renting. It's going to get them a little bit more motivated when they see the actual number. And of course, your information's right there. Bid over ask, we don't really see this very much, but if it does happen, or maybe not necessarily bid over ask, but maybe the property that the person wants to buy $50,000. Here's your calculation that you'll break even after 6 months. So it's not going to be a loss. Some people say, oh, I'm putting in this money and it's whatever, but it doesn't go any, you know, nowhere. It's equity. Here's a appreciation chart we can add. This one looks a little bit old school to me, if you want the truth. I don't think I can edit any of these colors or anything, but if you like it, then we can use it. A couple things to leave you guys with. Just to have in the back of your mind, things that I hear buzz about. We still have it's a bridge HELOC, if you will. Bridge loan is what it used to be referred to as back in the day when an actual bridge loan existed. But what we allow is for you to, if you've got a departing resident, so I have a house now, I want to sell it and I want to buy this house, then you refer them to me. And they don't have all the cash for the house they want to buy yet, it's all tied up in equity. What we can do is go ahead and have them pull that equity out now, put the down payment on the new house. It can be the entire down payment can come from somebody might be sitting on the thought of listing and moving, but they don't know what to do because they don't want to sell their house before they have another house, and that happens quite a bit. This is a great way to kind of bridge that gap. It's an interest only payment for 10 years. So let's say we do this, they pull out a couple $100,000 and then they decide not to sell their house. They're going to now rent it out. So that's fine. We don't have any type of prepayment penalty or this does not say you have to have it paid off within a certain amount of time when you sell this house. It will eventually get paid off when they sell the house, but we don't have a required time for that. They could keep it 30 years if they want. It's a 30-year loan. Interest only for 10 years, draw period for 10 years. They draw, pay it back, draw, pay it back. And it's, like I said, it can be a 30-year loan. So no pressure on them that they have to pay it off. It is investment property pricing, so it's going to be higher. But with it being an interest only payment, cash flow wise, it's usually, for them, it usually works. I'll leave you with this. This is usually the last thing I say. Is that we are lenient on most visa statuses and residency statuses. So give me a call. You do have to have a social security number. So I don't have any no social security number loans, but if they've got a social security number, then and you have somebody else that maybe won't be able to lend to them, or maybe you're just talking to them and they're concerned that they can't buy based on their residency status, have them call me and see if we can work it out. Okay. Q&A. So I will stop sharing now. And Mike, if you want to take over.
Take over what? I don't know. Anybody?
Well, I mean, we can see if there's any questions, I guess.
How about that? I'm willing to talk. You know that. Anybody have any questions? There was one about whether or not you could provide templates for farming. Not sure if that's the only one that I saw that I would give to sellers might be the one about the swing loan, bridge loan, HELOC. Is that, but other than that,
When you say templates, well, first of all, I can't send any of this out. It's all in one system that we use, and it's not anything I can send out for you to be able to manipulate any data. So, so I wouldn't be able to do that even if I wanted to. It's not allowed. So, but if you email me, send me a message or email me and say, hey, I've got this coming up, and I'd like XYZ document or flyer form, whatever. Just let me know and I can prepare it for you and send it over.
and as a idea about farming postcards and things like that, we don't necessarily have to give them all the details. You could simply say, did you know there are options? And if somebody was interested, then you would have them talk to Jody, who can explain what the options are and how they work. And that would be a much smaller thing to put on a postcard. I think it's Audrey asked, she has a good point. She wants
Do
to
you charge
know.
any points? No, I mean, it depends. Somebody can pay points if they want to. If they want to buy the interest rate down, they can. But points are not, for us, they're not required or anything like that. So I do often no point loans. And as a matter of fact, that's what I recommend majority of the time right now, just with interest rates where they are and inflation where it is, hopefully that comes down. And then interest rates go back down to more normal levels. So the thought is, refinance maybe sometime in 2024-ish. So paying points doesn't really make sense. You're basically paying upfront interest to get a lower interest rate through the life of the loan. But if we're going to refinance it in a year or two, you probably won't get to the point where you see that benefit.
Again, it depends on how long do you plan on keeping the loan.
Right. If it's a 30-year fix and this is where you're going to be forever, then sure, let's go.
Yeah, otherwise, good point. And of course, sometimes when I hear questions about that, the word point simply means a percent.
Right.
So loan origination fees versus discount points versus, they're all kind of points, but not the same.
Right. And 1 point it's not always just 1%. You can have an eighth of a point.
Yeah.
You can have a quarter, so it's, maybe an eighth of a point will get you an eighth better in rate. There's no exact rule that says it's going to be like this every time. So yeah, and it's not required for us. So.
Any other questions? This is your chance, everyone.
This is it.
You must have done a thorough job.
Okay. Well, if you're wanting to work with me on any of this stuff and co-brand, send me an email after this call or just give me a call, send a text, whatever. And then we can dig a little bit deeper into how to get it started, and I can do it today. Okay. So if you're super pumped and you're ready to go, let's talk.
And just one comment before we say goodbye. A lot of times, particularly if you're a new real estate agent, you may not know really what you ought to say to buyers that have questions about moving forward because, they're expecting prices to crash. Pay attention. They're not going down, right? They're going up. They have all these objections and questions that are very difficult for you to answer, even if you're an experienced agent, because you don't have a lot of chance to practice. So one of the advantages of being in the partnership with Jody is she has had a lot of practice and every day is answering those kinds of questions and is probably better at it than you are, or I am, or any of us, right? Because it's not something we do all the time. And so rather than getting into this, morass of trying to explain things that are not that clear, it's a lot easier to just, connect your clients with Jody and let her answer the questions. They're probably going to get better answers and more likely to move forward. That's my thought for today.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mike. And I second it, of course. And this does happen quite a bit, that several times a week where I get a lot of questions from real estate agents because they've got a buyer or seller. And they're asking me questions that really, it would be best for me to talk to the person and dig a little bit deeper. there's been many times where I'm either telling someone, I'm sorry, no, you don't qualify. I'm sorry that you thought you did. And then times that I'm like, yes, you actually can buy now, that kind of thing. But don't feel like you have to know everything about the finance side of the transaction. Honestly, I do not study the contract. Okay. I don't read every page of every contract I get. I trust you're the expert in that area. Of course, I know things to look for and, stuff like that. But, I always put that off on you guys. So if the my borrower asks me a question about the contract, especially contingencies, then I will put it back on the real estate agent and say, well, you need to talk with your agent about that because they're the expert. And so you can feel comfortable saying, let me put you in front of Jody. She's my lender and she's an expert and she can give you fast and accurate answers to your questions now. So let's give her a quick call, or set up a call or something like that.
And if you don't want to say that, you also could just say, I don't have a license to do loans. My broker wouldn't allow it. That's also true for most of you. And so I'm limited as to what I can say and explain legally. So, talk to somebody who has the right license.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I had a second thought of the day, but anyhow, that's it. I'm done.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you guys again. I'm here. You've got my cell. Call me anytime, all the time. I'm here to help.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you.